The Indiana Pacers drafted an absolute stud. Chris Duarte has been averaging around 14 points per game this season on 44% shooting, 4.1 rebounds, and also adding 2.3 assists to his game as well. But when you actually watch Chris Duarte play out there on the court, it's pretty clear that he's a much better player than his numbers would suggest. And overall, if I had to describe his game in a few words, I would have to say a very versatile scorer. But quickly before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm Juicy Sports. I make opinionated NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, please consider hitting that subscribe button, that like button, and that post notification bell. But anyways, let's get into it.
Oh yeah, I work with the medics. I'm about to get you injected. I got a couple connections so I can get you prosthetic.
Chris Duarte was drafted with the number 13th overall selection in the 2021 NBA draft. And coming into the NBA, there was a ton of excitement around his name. Duarte was seen as a fantastic catch-and-shoot three-point shooter that could shoot a high percentage in the NBA, but also had some other skills within his game. And so far early on into Chris's rookie season, I think he's certainly proven the ability to be a very special talent going forward for the Indiana Pacers. And we didn't necessarily know this at the time of the draft, but recently the Indiana Pacers announced that they're going in the direction of a total rebuild and are willing to trade guys like Miles Turner, Sabonis, and Caris LeVert. And I personally think if the Pacers do go through with this and trade some of the main guys they have now and go towards a total rebuild, I think that's going to be a perfect situation for Chris. And the reason why I say this is because now the Pacers would be building, maybe not through Chris Duarte, I don't know if he's that good at least yet, but they would certainly be building around players like him, and he would certainly be a part of their main core. And if the Pacers do go ahead and trade their main guys and go towards a total rebuild, now we're going to see Chris Duarte get a lot more minutes than he's even getting now, and now he's getting a ton of minutes. But on top of just getting a ton of minutes, he's also going to see the plays being run through him, and he's also going to be taking some shots late as well. And overall, he's going to be getting a fantastic learning opportunity with the Pacers. And for all those reasons, I personally think the Pacers are going to be a fantastic situation for him going forward long term. But let's quickly take a look at Duarte's game point by point to really describe why I personally think he's going to be such a talented player going forward. So starting with his three-point shooting ability, as I mentioned before in the video, Duarte was certainly seen as one of the better catch-and-shoot three-point shooters coming out of the draft, and was certainly seen as a player that could shoot a very high percentage as a catch-and-shoot three-point shot guy. And ever since getting into the NBA, he's shooting around 36% from three, which obviously isn't a fantastic percentage, but at the same time obviously is not a bad percentage. And in my opinion, for a guy who's only a rookie, not even halfway through his rookie season, also considering he takes over 5 threes per game, in my opinion, I think that's certainly a very good percentage for a guy like that, and certainly shows the capability that he could have going forward in his NBA career. Because if he's already able to shoot 36% early on into his rookie season, you would just expect a guy like this to improve each and every season, and if he could potentially get that percentage up around 37-38% or even higher, that'd be fantastic for a player like this, considering how many three-point attempts he takes per game. But besides just his ability to catch and shoot from that three-point range, he also has a very nice ability to create for himself from there as well. He has a pretty nice sidestep, step back, crossover into a three-point jump shot, also has the ability to run the pick and roll or pick and pop pretty effectively in terms of using that screen for an easy pull-up three-point shot. And overall from that three-point area, in my opinion, I think Duarte is very talented from that range. Now talking about Duarte's mid-range shooting ability, it's very similar to his three-point shooting ability in the sense that he has all the abilities from that mid-range area as well. Also has a fantastic pull-up mid-range jump shot that he utilizes fantastically when initially blowing by his initial defender. Has a nice floater within his game as well, a decent post turnaround fadeaway, although he doesn't necessarily use it that often. And overall from that mid-range area, he's very talented as well, similar to his three-point shooting ability. But the great thing about Duarte, he's not only a great shooter, but he also has the ability and athleticism to drive all the way to the basket and finish around players with crafty layups. He's not necessarily a player that's going to dunk over whatever defenders in the paint, but at the same time, he has the ability to finish around the basket with either hand, either his left or right, although I would like to see him work on his left a little bit more, but certainly has the ability to do so. And overall, looking at Duarte's individual scoring ability, he's a very talented player that has the ability to score very effectively on each and every level. But something that's been very impressive to me personally is Duarte's passing and playmaking ability. Now when you actually look at his stats, you can see he's only averaging a little above 2 assists per game, which obviously isn't that impressive, but the reason why I personally think it's very impressive for Duarte is when you actually watch him out there in the court, you can clearly tell that he he's an above average basketball IQ for his position, skill set, and time in the NBA. When Duarte has the ball, if he's getting double teamed or even if he's not getting double teamed, he's always going to find the wide open guy either in the corner for a catch and shoot three, cutting to the basket, runs a pick and roll pretty effectively in terms of his passing and playmaking ability. And overall, I just think he has a very good basketball IQ very early on into his NBA career, which is certainly going to get better with time as well. But also considering the skill set that he has, players of his skill set don't average any more than 4 assists per game for the most part. So if Duarte were to average around 2 to 4 assists for his NBA career, I wouldn't necessarily see that as a negative. I would honestly see that as a positive. So that's why his passing and playmaking ability is very impressive, at least to me personally. But now talking about Duarte's defensive ability, when you talk about Duarte, he certainly has a great wingspan as well as above average athleticism, and both of those factors combined really makes for a pretty good defender in the NBA and certainly a plus defender at the NBA level for Duarte. But overall, when you look at Duarte's skill set in terms of his offensive ability, his scoring ability individually, as well as his basketball IQ, passing and playmaking ability, combine that with his decent defensive ability, I certainly think Duarte is a very exciting prospect going forward in the NBA, and I really do think he has the potential to be a star one day in the NBA. Currently at this point, obviously he's nowhere near that star level, but I personally think the skill set that he possesses is certainly capable of becoming a star player one day in the NBA, obviously if he puts the hard work in each and every offseason, which in my opinion I think he will be doing. Also combined with the situation that he's in Indiana, if they do go in that direction of a full rebuild, I think that would be a great situation for Duarte going forward as well and would only benefit him going forward. But of course for Duarte to be somewhat of the main guy for a few years, or at the very least be part of the main core for the Pacers are probably going to need to trade some of their main guys or maybe even all of their main players. And I'm talking about Miles Turner, Sabonis, and Caris LeVert. If they're able to trade at the very least 2 of those 3 guys, in my opinion, I think they can easily go in the direction of a full rebuild for the next 3 or 4 seasons and really build around players like Chris Duarte. But currently at the time of recording this video, the Pacers have a very high price for all those 3 players that I mentioned, so we'll see how serious the Pacers are in terms of rebuilding and trading some of their main players away in order to acquire some draft picks in return and build a true nice young core. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Chris Duarte could potentially be a star in the league, or do you not think so? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy it, check one of these 2 videos popping up now, and until the next time, peace out guys.
Oh yeah, I work with the medics. I'm about to get you injected. I got a couple connections so I can get you prosthetic. Hope you can't go where I'm headed.